Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented is the colored version of Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU, which offers a spectacular mirror-like finish to your interior wooden surfaces. It is a quick drying PU which exhibits exceptional anti-yellowing and durability properties, protecting your wood from scratches and stains for years to come. Asian Paints Emporio Pigmented gives your furniture a rich color, at the same time offers luxurious mirror-like gloss or a rich matte finish. Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented is available in a variety of shades including blacks and whites. Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented is also manufactured and packaged in Italy and imported from Italy by Asian Paints. Product features: faster turnaround time. Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented takes only half the time for painting as compared to regular PUs. Excellent scratch resistance. Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented has the best scratch, stain and heat resistance in the PU finishes category. Mirror-like finish. Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented has high clarity of image, leading to a reflection similar to that seen in a mirror. Abrasion resistance. Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented has the highest film hardness, making this product very durable. Technical specifications. Coverage. The coverage rate is about 80 to 90 square feet per liter per coat. Method of application: spraying. Drying time: tack-free time 30 minutes. Recoating time 2 to 3 hours. Recoating must be done within 72 hours. Mixing ratio. Mix Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented Sealer with hardener in the ratio 2:1 by weight and thin it with 15 to 30% of Asian Paints Woodtech PU thinner. Please note, for black finish, use Asian Paint Woodtech Emporio Black Sealer, and for any other color finish, use Asian Paint Woodtech Emporio White Sealer. Mix Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented Matte Top Coat with hardener in the ratio 2:1 by weight for a matte finish. Whereas for a glossy finish, mix Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented Glossy with hardener in the ratio 1:1 by weight, eventually thinning it with 10 to 20% of Asian Paints Woodtech PU thinner. Maturation time. Unlike Indian PUs, there is no maturation time which is required for Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented. Pot life. Use within 3 hours post-mixing. Gloss level. 90 to 95% in gloss finish, 20 to 25% in matte finish. Application process. Before starting with the application process, do ensure that you are wearing the necessary safety equipment. Start cleaning the wooden surface by sanding it with sandpaper number 180. For the application of Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented, start by mixing Woodtech Emporio Sealer Base with Emporio Hardener in a ratio 2:1 by weight and thin it with 15 to 30% of Asian Paints Woodtech PU thinner. Use Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio Black Sealer for a black pigmented finish. Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio White Sealer for a pigmented finish of any other color. Apply 2 to 3 coats of the mixture on the surface by spraying, allowing a drying period of 3 to 4 hours in between each coat. Remember to use the mixture within 3 hours of mixing. Leave the surface for drying overnight. Sand the coated surface with sandpaper numbers 320 or 400. Next, mix Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented top coat with hardener in the ratio 2:1 by weight for matte finish and 1:1 for glossy finish. Then thin with Asian Paints Woodtech PU thinner in the recommended amounts. Use the mixture within 3 hours from mixing. Spray 2 coats of the mixture on the surface, allowing a drying period of 3 to 4 hours in between each coat. Once the surface is dry, do remember to sand the surface lightly with sandpaper numbers 320 or 400 in between each intermediary coat. Ensure that the recoating is done each time within 72 hours of applying the previous coat. Comparison with market competitor Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented versus competitor product. Butyl acetate test and MEK solvent test. This test is used to highlight the superior resistance of Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented towards the chemicals like butyl acetate and MEK solvent, which are present in common household cleaners. The test result clearly shows that the competitor's surface is affected much more than the surface coated with Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented stain resistance test. We compare the stain resistance of Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented with its competitor product by using permanent marker. We see that the stains are cleaned much more easily on the Asian Paint Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented panel than on the competitor product panel. Cigarette butt test. We conducted the cigarette butt test on the panels coated with Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented and its competitor by putting out a cigarette butt on each of the panels. This is done to check the impact of heat on the surfaces. We see that the burn mark left on the competitor panel is much more than that on the Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented panel. Cross-cut adhesion test. A cross-shaped cut mark is made on each of the comparative product panels. And then we try to peel off the chipped paint using a masking tape. The panel coated with Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented exhibits lower chipping and peeling, which clearly implies that Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented has a much better adhesion than its competitor. Sheen test. The sheen level of a finished wooden surface is measured using a glossometer. The higher glossometer reading for Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented denotes a higher sheen when compared to the competitor product. Application tips. A few useful tips that would give a better finish. Always mix the base and the hardener in glass, plastic or enamel containers. Refrain from using lesser than the recommended quantity of hardener, as that could lead to improper curing, leaving the surface soft and vulnerable. At the same time, do not add excess hardener, since the film can become brittle and crack. Stir the paint and the thinned mixture well prior to application. Use between 150 to 180 grams per square meter of paint per coat. Do not pollute Asian Paints Woodtech Emporio PU Pigmented with oil, varnish or the likes. Mix matte and glossy finishes to obtain the desired sheen levels. Ensure that the storage and application is done in well-ventilated areas. Note, the base and the hardener are to be consumed within 1 week of opening the seal.